Yo, what's going on guys? Rhys here from Stoic Pool, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at what a dashboard might look like for peer-to-peer lending on Cardano. Let's get into it. Right guys, so this all basically stems from a Cardano 360 video that happened, which is basically the monthly roundup for Cardano. Check it out on YouTube, Cardano 360 in February. It was the first one where they officially called it Cardano 360. And on that, one of the guys who this is the third time I'm recording this because I've been having some problems with OBS. Anyone who's ever done any live streaming knows what I mean. But yeah, so I've been having some trouble with OBS and missing frames and skipping and all kinds of stuff you don't need to worry about. But basically, I should have checked what this guy's name was. One of the guys from IOHK was talking about developing or having a dashboard for peer-to-peer lending and smart contracts, like private smart contracts basically for peer-to-peer lending on Cardano, which is basically what Marlowe's all about. I've done two example contract videos for Marlowe, and people always come back with feedback on the contract and poke holes in it, which is not wrong, it's right and it's good actually that they do that, but the point is that there's potential for the contract to be exploited if one of the or two parties is like, oh no, I didn't do that coaching session, I'm just going to pretend I didn't do anything, and then I get all my money back, or something like that. Like one or two parties, there are always ways that can be exploited, because the contract needs some kind of input. So it needs a way for someone to actually put information in, and so that's where the app comes in, or some kind of dashboard. So I've been thinking about this because when everyone asks me, and I'm like, yeah, there would obviously need to be some kind of dashboard. People ask me all the time in the comments on those two YouTube videos, and obviously there needs to be some kind of way that you can input that information, whether or not you turned up for the session, or whether or not it went off, or whether it was rearranged, or anything. The landlord example as well has the same problem, which enables people to have there's an exploit opportunity essentially. So I've been thinking about that, getting all tingly and excited, and then yesterday I decided, right, I'm gonna build this dashboard so that we have an idea, we have something we can work with. So I did, basically. Now, heads up, I am not designing this app for IOG. I'm not creating this platform, but what I have done is I've imagined what kind of things are going to be needed on there so that we could have a look at how that might work. And this gives you guys the opportunity as well to actually say, come in with your suggestions. Although this isn't I'm not developing it, IOG are actually building this working on this kind of thing. So if there's an opportunity for us to actually provide some feedback before anything comes about, that's pretty awesome. Actually be involved in that kind of thing. And also I kind of just did it for the fun. So let's have a look at my computer. So first thing, I made some notes, because whenever I go to do something like this, I always a part of me just wants to dive straight in, and then the other part of me is like, no, just get a plan and then you can execute the plan and it's done. So that's what I did. Marlowe Smart Contract Dashboard, or in this case, it's a mobile app. So here, create, interact, deploy smart contracts through a user-friendly mobile app, because your nan needs to be able to do this kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's for peer-to-peer lending and contracts. So that's private contractual agreements, if you're having some builder's work done, and you need to pay them, but you want the work done first, so you pay them half, and then you pay them half when the work's done. Something like that is easy, simple example of when this kind of thing is important. It's when you need to have a contractual agreement, but you don't necessarily trust all the parties that are involved, and so this allows the app or the smart contract to execute the contract itself, so that we're not left to whether someone's being naughty or not, and end up having disputes. Now, that's really important, because I used to work in construction. I used to dig holes and bury naughty tenants. And what happened with that is that often when we were doing private jobs, we were waiting to be paid. So we'd do the work, and then we'd be waiting for 2 weeks or something to actually get the money, which we would need, we'd need the money. Now, it's not the person who was paying us is fault necessarily. It's not like they were avoiding paying us. It's sometimes difficult to just cross paths and actually like sign off the work and get any snags done and blah blah blah, to actually fully finalize and make payment. So it's not that anyone is being naughty or like the guy who was paying us to do this job was like an asshole or anything like that. Nothing like that. It's just that people are busy, people have their lives, and stuff is difficult it's difficult to kind of match up and sync all the time to actually make transactions. So this is perfect for doing those kind of things. Now, the contracts are obviously automated, which is the whole point of them, but they might require some kind of input and plus a confirmation to actually execute a command. So initially I was like, oh yeah, they're going to need some kind of input. Like I'm going to have to say, oh yeah, I did this, or they're going to have to say, oh yeah, I didn't do that. But then they're going to need some kind of confirmation as well. So like if there's going to be an action executed on the smart contract, then you need both parties to actually agree on that, don't you? Because otherwise one will be like, no, I'm not signing that. So that kind of comes into play a little bit. And then the next thing, which they actually said on the Cardano 360 video, which I'll link below, is pre-built contracts. So it'll almost be like an app store for smart contracts. And these smart contracts would obviously need to be edited for like duration, values, and terms, and potentially different inputs as well, and timing of inputs. And obviously we're going to need to be able to take multiple currencies, stable coins, crypto, plus swapping functionality. So for example, I might want to pay in Cardano and someone might want to be paid in AUHK, which is like the stable coin that's being built for the Cardano blockchain. So something like that, you might, just like with stake pools being able to take transaction fees in native assets, we'd need the same kind of thing going on here. And that's pretty simple, like there's already that kind of functionality, like DeFi functionality being built onto Cardano. So that's not really an issue. But it needs to be included in this, obviously. Okay, so cool. That's that. Now we can actually have a look at the app. So these are the things that I kind of came up with. So we've got I'm just going to overview it quickly. Welcome page, like your personal account, like here with like a settings thing. Then we have like searching and like browsing for different contracts. We have like editing, like functionality, like editing the terms of a contract. Like submit or scan or share a contract to get someone else involved with it. We've got like the payment type options with different currency functionality, like and swapping and stuff, and then obviously any actions that need to be committed. So like I said, guys, before, I'm not designing this for IOHK. I guess they're just designing it themselves or they're outsourcing it to someone else, but I've just done this because I'm interested in how it would work. I was thinking about it, and a lot of people ask me about how this would work. So I thought I'm going to just create a mock-up so that I can explain how I visualize this happening. And I like say, I'm not designing it, but this is what I imagine needs to happen. So first up, let's just zoom in here. So like peer-to-peer smart contracts, Marlowe, all the color scheme, guys, just stolen from this logo, all right? So that's why the blue and purple happens, because obviously it's got a match. So we'd obviously have like a loading screen, whatever it's called, like the Marlowe might be the logo for the app itself or something. And then you'd come up, just like with Revolut or with Monzo, you'd have your name, your personal account, your wallet balance. And what I've got here is I've got like an available balance. So this wallet would just be like your Roy wallet or your Daedalus wallet would just like connect. And you could just have a separate wallet that would connect to this rather than having all your funds in one solid wallet. You can just have multiple wallets. So you just have a wallet specifically for this. And then you have like a contract tab here. So I've got available here and I've got the contract, and this would just be like to look at how much ADA or whatever currency you've got is locked up in a smart contract at any one point. So you see here I've got this little purple bit here because this is selected. You can switch to contract and then that'll change. Obviously I haven't done that. Then we've got awaiting actions. So this is like what you would get notifications of. So if there's an action waiting on one of your open contracts, which is just this drop down menu here, then that would come up here and you'd get a notification. Like that's why I've got this little exclamation mark here. You just need to do an action. And just a heads up, that action might look something like this. oh yeah, you got to confirm this action, the coaching session happened, here's the scan thing, like you can scan it so you can connect, both of you could set that as a term, both of you need to scan each other's barcodes to like double confirm, which is how some like hardware wallets work, like the Kobo and stuff like that. And you'd need a double confirmation. So you would confirm, which is what we're waiting for here, and the coach would confirm, which is, again, what's already happened. So that toggle's already hit because he's already confirmed it. Okay, so back over here. So, wallet balance, blah, blah, blah. Open contracts. This drop-down menu just shows these 3 contracts being in. So I've got like personal training, which is one of the example contracts. I've got Builders Works, which is what I've kind of just spoken to you guys about. And then I've got like lend a friend. And the lend a friend thing is just like your typical sort your mate out, like lend him 20 quid or 50 quid or whatever until this particular time. And then he automatically gets taken out of his account on payday or whatever, however you want to set that. But it's just a very simple like P2P contract that everyone would understand, just lending your mate some money. So obviously you need a settings, you need notification settings, you need account settings, wallet preferences, currency preferences, like what you'd want to choose to be paid in most of the time or not if that's the case, privacy information, blah blah blah. And then say you want to click this button to open, like this purple plus sign here, to open up a new contract or to start a new contract or create a new contract. You can come up with the search functionality to like search for, like browse for contracts. So you just type in like whatever it is here. I've got some examples of what that might look like personal savings, which is kind of like, or personal investment account, what happens when like your change gets carried over. There are loads of those apps now, loads of them. Personal trainer, personal shopper, just chuck something else in there. And personal tax account, which is quite a good idea, guys, by the way, is just to like automatically any money that comes into your account, like just save 20% or save 30% of it or whatever like your expected tax bracket might be. So you always have that money aside, which is a great bit of functionality you could just have as a smart contract for yourself. So you just set up like contracts that are automated rules for when any kind of action happens in your account, which is a pretty cool idea. So they're probably doing that because these guys are super smart. And then obviously like history search stuff, exactly what you think. And then this is kind of like browsing the contracts. I didn't go and name all these contracts, guys. It's just an idea of what it might look like. And you click on a thing and it would show you the terms and like the variables that you could set and blah, blah, blah. Cool. So, like I mentioned previously, I'm going to just slide this over here so my head doesn't get in the way. So like I mentioned previously, if you were just going to get like a bespoke contract, or if you're just like starting a contract, you would need to be able to actually change anything. So some variables might need to change, and like those kind of variables might be like setting the contract name. So just you look at it like whatever the contract is called might be personal training, but you might want to be calling it coaching with Rhys, for example, so that you can just look at it and know exactly what it is. The duration would be like the length of the contract, obviously, which is the kind of expiration date, and then the values. So like however much needs to be tied into that contract from both parties or from one side. Like this isn't an extensive functional form. Yeah, guys, this is just ideas so that we can talk about it. And then obviously setting the currency. So you can set the currency, like the value in the currency. And these are the terms. So these are just, the thing is, right, with these things is they wouldn't necessarily need to be specified. So some of these would need to be specified, but they can be specified in very simple means. It doesn't need to be like certain coaching things. It would just be action 1, and then you could just label that action as coaching, you know what I mean? Or label action 2, like option 2 for action 1 might be cancelled, like what happened in the example contract that I wrote. So it doesn't need to necessarily explain all those things. You just need to have those actions and potential options, like outcomes, and then you could choose to label them yourself as a way of editing and like making the contract bespoke to your needs. And then once you've got that, once you've kind of filled that out, realistically, all you need to do is scan or share with your mate or the other party who's involved in the contract. Now, guys, I know you're all wondering what this QR code is, and it's just a receive address in Yoroi. So if you were to scan this, it's just going to you're just going to end up sending ADA to me. So don't worry about that. That's just where I got it from. And then share or scan, like, because you you would need to be able to send it to someone if you're not like next to someone when you set up a contract. But if you want, instead of sending it, they can just scan your QR code and then automatically be added to the contract, So like that kind of functionality is really, really good. And the same with confirming actions, like over here, being able to actually confirm an action that you're taking will allow you with a QR code, forces you to actually be together when you make that decision, which is a really good fail-safe in confirming any actions. Now this one in the middle is like you've set up the contract, you've gone in, and then you set up like paying into the contract. You pay the ADA or however, like whatever currency it is to pay into the contract. So in this example, let me just slide it over here a little bit further. In this example, I've got 420 ADA and 468 Age USD. This isn't like, I didn't do this maths. So there's two numbers here and there's an exchange here. Like I didn't do this maths, guys, all right? So don't, well, you can call me out on it if it's wrong. Like I'm not that bothered. I literally haven't checked. So it probably is a little wrong. Anyway. You can see what's going on there. Yeah, this is just paying into the contract. You're going to send ADA, but your coach wants to receive a stable coin, so you just pay this into that. That's the transaction. This is the exchange. Just like you'd see in Revolut or like Monzo. Definitely Revolut. I don't know if you can change currencies in Monzo, but in Revolut you can just go flip to euros. Like flip to dollars. It's really cool how you can do that, and it'll be exactly the same in this kind of app. Like you would need that kind of functionality, and the thing is, like it's really easy to do that with liquid finance or anything like that. Like these things are actually being built on Cardano already, so you just got to like connect them together, but plug and play. Delivery direct to wallet, like maybe there are other options here, I don't know, I just put direct to wallet, but maybe you could get paid directly into your bank account or something like that, or a different account. Maybe you say send it to someone else's account or whatever, I don't know. You got options there potentially, and then the transaction fee and total to pay and confirm. Simple. Then any actions here, I've kind of already explained this, but you can see how it would work. Like you get a notification on your phone, my phone's in my pocket. Bam, notification here. You got to take this action to confirm with the contract. Bam, bam, bam. And then you just click, unlock your phone. It takes you straight into the contract. You confirm the action or you don't. Or like you're like, oh, this needs to happen within the next 5 days. You organize meeting up with that guy, scan it. And if you don't take that action, then consequences. And the thing about the consequences, the thing is there would need to be consequences of not taking the actions or not filling the action, because otherwise it would leave a hole. But how you would do that, I don't really know. Like maybe you would say if it isn't done within this time frame, then bad times. You could say if it isn't done, like if the action isn't taken within a day or within 24 hours, then there's a fine or like some extra money is held in the contract or something. I don't know. Like it would really depend on the contract, I guess. It would really depend on the contract, but that's stuff that maybe you guys have better ideas on. Maybe you guys can have a solution about that. Like one of you who's watching right now will just be like, it's got to be done like that. And it'd be super obvious. But because I've been wireframing these, I haven't been able to think of it because my brain's working on other things. So I haven't done enough critical thinking for that kind of thing. But you can see like how this could work. Like this isn't a mock-up of the actual app. This isn't something I'm designing for. I know I've said it like 5 times. It's not something I'm actually designing, but this is what I imagine it will look like. And it might not. I might be totally wrong. And if I am, then it's only because they're going to have come up with something better than what I could imagine in an afternoon, So this is something that I think is going to be the solution for interacting with smart contracts, peer-to-peer lending platform. Like this is kind of what I imagine we'll be working with in the future. And this is in my opinion, like I get really excited about this kind of stuff because I see this as the future. I see this as actually working, as actually being something that can be used. Like people already do it. People already use Monzo. People already use Revolut. Like these aren't new concepts. We're just basically getting the crypto part done, and it's easy enough to send links to pay in Monzo. It's easy enough to request money or to send money through your contacts in Revolut and Monzo. Like it's really, really simple. This infrastructure or the basic idea has already been implemented and the public already use this kind of thing. So actually changing this from one thing to another, like changing it to crypto, is basically like just flipping a switch. And this is not the obstacle. Like, this isn't the barrier to entry with applying peer-to-peer smart contracts into the real world. You know, the actual barrier for that is more actually deploying the smart contracts, isn't it? And having the ability to swap currencies, which again already exists. So I'm really excited about what the future holds with this stuff. Like, I think it's going to be a game changer. Like, I can't believe this hasn't already been done, because it seems so obvious. At least once these guys started talking about peer-to-peer smart contracts and I started fiddling around with Marlowe, like, it seemed really obvious that this has happened. How, like, Ethereum or anyone else hasn't already come up with this stuff is beyond me, but I'm glad Cardano's doing it, because that's exciting. Guys, that's really it for this video, you know. Like, I can sit here rambling around about this for ages and talking about how tickly it makes me feel, but the truth is, like, there's nothing really much more to say. If you have any questions, or if you have any feedback, or you have any ideas of ways that this could be improved, let me know. Like, who knows, this could turn into a catalyst fund in the future. If we get enough feedback and we get like a better concept, or we start noticing problems with this, that we could then go to IOG and be like, look guys, I know you're thinking about this. This is what we've come up with. Maybe it'll help. You know, that this could turn into something. This isn't just me like drawing pretty pictures. Like, this actually is for a use case of some kind. So maybe one of you guys can just take this and run with it, you know, and build something amazing. And if you can, then well done, because you're going to be changing the world. Yeah, that's really it, guys, for this video. Thanks for watching. If you like what you've seen, as always, give us a like, subscribe for more Cardano videos every week. If you're not already, consider delegating to Stoic. We have just had our best epoch ever. We minted 8 blocks in an epoch, which for 2.5 million delegation is like good. It's really good. It's like 4 times the expected performance of the pool, which is just fantastic. Yeah, any questions or comments, any feedback, I'm open to it. Like, you're not going to upset me. Ask questions, like, try and find holes in this, ways that we need to improve this thing, because I'm really interested to see what everyone else thinks, and I'm interested to figure out how I can make this better, or like what I've missed, because I've definitely missed things. I just don't know what they are yet. Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. I'll catch up with you in the next one. I'll see you then.